in love. We must be in love. We must be in love.
Hello and welcome to the Bachelor Podcast with Nicole and Matt. This is the show where we discuss the whole family of Bachelor reality TV relationship shows on ABC. This is episode number 65 of our podcast, and we're going to discuss the episode of Bachelor Pad that aired the night of Monday, August 6th. Now, just a reminder, everybody, this is a spoiler-free show, so my co-host and I, Nicole, don't know who wins Bachelor Pad in the end. We have no idea. None at all. So we hope that you enjoy this journey with us as we march our way through these really boring episodes of this show. Not knowing what's going to happen next. So my name is Matt. I'm here with my co-host Nicole, my beautiful wife of years.
We're not telling anybody how long we've been married.
That's, I guess, one of our trade secrets. We'll leave that on the table.
Yep, maybe
now.
for our 100th episode or something.
You think we're going to get to 100 episodes? Man,
Never know.
I don't know.
We never thought we'd get to 65.
This is true. 65 is some sort of milestone anniversary. So anyways, but before we get into our recap, Nicole, you have something to share that was Bachelor related. Why don't you share that with us?
So just today, I happened to be watching Bravo, the Bravo channel.
You watch the Bravo channel.
I love Bravo.
I'm surprised.
And there's this newer show on called Misadvised, and
Okay.
I don't know if any of our listeners have ever seen it, but it follows three dating/relationship quote unquote experts around and how they try and find
now these
love.
are guys or girls?
Three girls.
Three girls, okay.
And like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York. So the one girl that lives in New York.
So they're not related at all. It's like three separate stories.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm just trying to help clarify this
who cares?
picture.
That's not the point of the story. So the one girl, her name is Amy, and she's a matchmaker in New York City. And I'm watching this, and I've never seen the show before. I've seen like clips here and there, but I've never sat down and watched an episode. So I wasn't really paying attention. I was, on my laptop, and it was on. And all of a sudden, she's walking down the streets of New York City with her friend. And all of a sudden, I look up, and it's Lorenzo from The Bachelor.
Lorenzo Borghese.
His
Highness.
And it says, underneath, it says Lorenzo, and then it just says, Amy's friend.
So they're not an item.
They're not an item, and he was giving her relationship advice and about if she should get together with her ex-boyfriend or not. But he looked really good. He looks like he hadn't aged at all. I didn't see a wedding band on his finger, so I guess he's still single. Lorenzo, what's up with you?
Wow.
So if you're listening, Lorenzo, we want to know what's new with you. So email us, thebachelorpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, Lorenzo, let us know.
Send us a message via Twitter.
I have heard that Lorenzo is a Long Islander. He has a house on Long Island.
I have heard that too. So maybe he's in the city most of the time. Maybe he has a place in New York City.
Well, I was going to say, we're based on Long Island, so it's not that far of a stretch of an imagination for him to invite us out to his house some weekend.
He's going to invite some weirdos that do a podcast talking about him.
Yeah, why not? We're fun people.
You never know.
So
that was pretty crazy. That was funny.
So I guess tune into that show. You never know when he might pop up again.
Yeah, you never know. And I know I was watching a repeat, so I don't know if this had originally aired, I think a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Very interesting. So let's get into a recap of tonight's episode. So every episode of Bachelor Pad opens up with kind of the aftermath of the previous week's vote.
Yes.
Which I like. I find that kind of interesting.
I agree.
You immediately see, the fallout from what happened. And I don't remember too much happening there that was all that interesting. So we flash forward to the next day where there's a competition. It's this, double dare like obstacle course.
Yes.
They fail the questions and they're on the physical challenge, and it's super sloppy, and they're swimming around, and
Hot Fudge
chocolate.
Sunday-ish.
Yeah.
And Ed was really excited because he loves challenges like this, and he thinks he's going to do really well. And he winds up being partnered with Jamie, go Jamie. She was awesome in the beginning. She was the first girl to be done with the challenge. And then she hands it off to Ed, and he cannot get up that wall of hot fudge.
Awful. I'm trying to figure it out, because he seems like a fit guy. I mean, he's smart. Like, what is the deal?
He's hungover.
And that's what I was going to say, is he's completely hungover. He obviously drinks way too much every night, and he's just not up to par the next morning.
No.
Now, Michael Stagliano, as usual, almost wins, but no, it was Dave.
Yeah, I was happy for Dave.
The newbie wins.
The new fan. So, Dave wins, and he gets to, and so does Rachel, because they're a pair. They were partners for this challenge, and so he gets to pick some girls to go on the date with him. So he chooses Blakely, which was really nice because he said she chose him the previous challenge. I think she won the rose.
And in exchange for her choosing him last week, they had a deal where she was going to tell him who to vote for when it was his turn to vote. So just more on that later. So he also takes along, who else?
Jamie and Erica. And they have this prom night, which, okay, like, that's fun, but normally they do things that cost a lot more money. This was just like, oh, we rented some dresses for you and we had some balloons blown up.
I guess when the fan gets a date, they don't go all out or whatever.
I mean, they had a band there, this country singer and stuff, but...
But he has a huge crush on Jamie.
I don't know if it's huge, but...
He kisses her.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, that's not something you're just going to do randomly.
No.
That was a premeditated smooch.
So now Blakely is saying, he owes me the rose. We had a deal. But that wasn't their deal.
That wasn't the deal at all.
The deal was, like you just said, if I choose you for this date, and you're going to vote how I tell you. She didn't... Now, I can understand. If she gave him the rose last week, then fine.
Right.
He should give her the rose. She didn't.
No. He doesn't have to return this favor.
So she's annoying.
So he gives the rose to Jamie, and the other two ladies leave, and they're hanging out. There's some no-name country band you've never heard of playing at the prom, and so that's the end of that. Right.
So then we have Rachel's date. So Rachel picks Tony, Nick... I don't know why she picked Nick.
Yeah, that was out of the blue.
And Michael Stagliano, obviously, and they go to the Wax Museum, and...
So that was kind of funny. The Wax Museum was a cute place for a date, and so they're going to play some pranks on people that are going into the Wax Museum by putting latex over their faces to kind of give them a waxy appearance, and they're going to pose as if they're a bachelor diorama. And then the people are going to come through and they would surprise them.
Now, if I were coming through this museum and I were a Bachelor fan.
Right, okay.
And I came through and I saw wax figures of Rachel, Tony, and Nick, I'd be a little disappointed. Like, this is who you picked to make wax figures of?
Like, at least give me, like, Emily Maynard and, like, Brad or something.
Like, okay, like... Trista and Ryan, or, even, like, Allie and Roberto. I know, like, they broke up, but Ashley and JP, like, or even some runners-up. You have, I don't know, Tenley and...
Kipton.
Yeah, okay. But Nick? I would not have remembered his name.
I was surprised that some of them... Well, anyways, yeah.
Well, and then poor Tony, though. When asked by the photographer, these fans are asked, so what'd you think of Tony? And they're like, who? Well, that's bad.
Yeah.
And then the guy, he left because he missed his son. Oh, what's another word for pathetic?
Yeah.
That's awful.
A nicer word for pathetic.
Yeah. So I felt bad for him. So... Were you surprised who Rachel gave the rose to?
Not at all, of course. I mean, we've seen it coming. Her and Michael Stagliano, they shared a kiss the week before, so made sense that there was some follow-up there. Now, she is pretty, but I feel like she needs a new look.
I agree. I think I like her hairstyle. I think it's very cute. However, I don't think it it makes her look as pretty as she could look.
Exactly.
I think if she had a different hair, like, I think her bangs take away from her eyes.
Yeah. She's got, beautiful eyes. Grow your hair out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not against nose rings at all, but she has a little stud in her nose. I would get rid of that. I think it's distracting.
I just think she doesn't look her look makes her look not as pretty as she is.
Yeah, exactly.
She's prettier than what she looks like, if that makes any sense. So anyway, that was Matt and I's little discussion during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
So then we have all this drama with Reed and Ed.
Right. So Reed's trying to get Ed out, and someone makes the astute observation that it's a vendetta. He's still upset at Ed for basically being chosen over him by Jillian and then cheating on Jillian. So he basically thinks that, well, Ed's already got a vote against him, so let's get him out. But the problem here is that Reed is making way too big a deal out of this.
I agree.
He's going around talking to everybody about this, and he's just digging himself into a hole.
He should have just laid low.
Yeah.
He never would have been voted out if he didn't do all of this. He should just lay low, let people vote out, whoever they were going to go vote out. And if he hates Ed, fine, hate him. But Ed thinks that you're friends, so be on his team.
Exactly.
You have a alliance there. If someone thinks that you guys are really close, then go with it. You know who's just annoying me more and more and more though?
Who's that?
It's Chris. Oh, he's so annoying.
He is in rare form, this guy.
He's
Amazing.
really annoying. So I have speaking of Chris, I have my uh-oh moment. Jamie decides to get all dolled up one night.
Yep.
She gets in her bikini, she wraps her towel around her, and goes to where Chris is lying in bed. And she says, I'm gonna be a real woman tonight, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And Chris just says, not tonight.
Yeah, no, not feeling
I'm
it.
tired.
I'm tired. It's not you, it's just,
No, he literally says, it's not you, it's me. That's what he says. And I thought that Seinfeld episode.
It's not you, it's me. I invented it, it's not
yeah,
you.
Yeah. It's me, all right. And then George's girlfriend says, all right, it is you.
It's like, darn right it's me.
So I felt like screaming through the TV and grabbing Jamie and saying, what are you doing? And if
Seriously.
if that's, okay, you're going to go up to him and you want to get in bed with him. But if he says not tonight, don't argue with him.
Yeah, no.
Just say, oh, really? Oh, all right. Well, you're missing out, and walk away. Fine. She's coming off a little crazy, and Blakely's crazy. And then we see next week Chris is going to be hooking up with Sarah. So
man, this guy gets around. He deserves your uh-oh moment for being the player this season.
Oh, he's so gross. I can't stand him. Well, I guess that's it. Now,
well, we should talk about who got voted out.
Well, obviously it was Reed.
Right.
And unfortunately Donna. I mean, I felt bad for her, but I wasn't too excited I didn't feel too bad after hearing her comments in the limo.
Yeah, she's been making comments like this all season long. And she thinks that she is one hot tamale, and, yeah.
She's not used to this kind of treatment at home.
Yeah. She says usually she gets every guy that she wants, and the guys are always after
blah,
her,
blah.
and, everyone's going to miss her when they can't see her in her bikini anymore, and what? So, anyways.
Well, I feel bad that Reed is leaving, but he got a little crazy at the end.
He got a little too overzealous.
Yeah, and I like him a lot. What should he have done?
He should have... You need to alternate. 1 week be strong, then the next week pull back. Then the next week be strong. I mean, he can't constantly be trying to be a master manipulator. Or plant the ideas in someone else's head and see if they go after them. Don't constantly be pushing. That's reality competition 101. You can't do that.
One thing that was a really silly move was Sarah not voting Ed out, though. she was the one person that didn't go with what she said she was going to do.
Right.
And I don't know why she would keep Ed if she thought that they had something together, and then she's upset that he goes and, sneaks off with Jacqueline. So I don't know why she would keep him around, and knowing that all these couples are in an alliance together, and she doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So, that was a silly move on her part, I think.
Oh, totally.
But, well, next week we will not be recording a podcast.
Yeah, so don't look for one next week. We'll have another double dip the following
Right.
week. We'll be reviewing the 2 episodes that will be airing, or the episode we'll miss, and then the episode that aired. So that'll be next week. So look for that sometime in 2 weeks' time from now. We will be doing 2 episodes at once.
Right.
Because we will be away.
We will be away.
Maybe we'll come back with a interesting story or Bachelor tie-in somehow.
Well, I think one of the bachelorettes is from where we're going.
Oh, really? Who's that?
It's a hint. Well,
That's such a broad hint. That's a what?
I think is Jillian from Canada?
Yeah.
Okay,
Jillian's
well,
from
that's
Canada.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, we're going to Canada. Actually, you know what? I think there was a Canadian version of The Bachelor.
What?
Yeah.
And we haven't watched this?
And we've never watched it. Yeah.
And you've never told me?
I think we talked about this a while ago.
I don't know.
We haven't talked about it on the podcast, but
I don't remember hearing about that.
I'm pretty sure there is one.
I want to see it.
And there's also, we did talk about this, but I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast. But if you're a long-time listener of our show, you know both Nicole and I were big fans of the very short-lived reality show Playing It Straight, which was a...
Well, that was an Australian version of that.
Well, there was a U.S. version, and then
UK.
we saw the Australian version. But there's also a UK version that's been on the air for a while. Right. So that is available. That's out
I know
there.
we've talked about this at least like 3 or 4 times, but honestly, you have to see this show.
There's nowhere for them to get it. This is the problem. The UK version does stream on like the BBC website, but you need to be in the UK to watch it. Like they block you. So
Well, we do have some international listeners.
So yeah.
So listen, if you're in the UK and you're listening, please watch the show.
You're right. When you're not watching the Olympics, watch.
But I mean, we've only seen the American version and the Australian version, but both were amazing. They really, really were.
It's riveting.
It's
television.
such a good show. It really, I mean, they should really do another American version because it would blow The Bachelor out. I mean, out of water. It would.
You know what I love about the show is how un-PC it is.
It's ridiculously on PC, which is why it's so funny. Because I couldn't believe that this was actually a show.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we should describe what the premise is in case people don't know what it is,
Well,
right?
if you're listening and you've heard this already for the 4th time, I apologize. But basically, it's very similar to The Bachelor or Bachelorette, where they have one girl and she's looking for love. And she doesn't, think anything's up. But then she's eventually told that half of the guys there that are vying for her heart are actually gay.
Right.
And
so why are they pretending to be there then?
Because if she picks a gay guy in the end, they win like $500,000 or $1 million or something like that.
So if they're able to trick
pretending to like her, and when she doesn't give, I guess I forget, does she give out roses or something? She gives out roses, I think.
I think you're right. I think she does give out roses.
And the guys that she doesn't give a rose to at the end, like when Chris Harrison on The Bachelor or Bachelorette says, "Gentlemen, you didn't get a rose? Say your goodbyes." Well, what they do is they eat the guys who didn't get a rose on Playing It Straight, go up to the girl, and if they kiss her on the cheek, it means they're straight, and if they kiss her on the hand, it means they're gay. So you're watching this, and they're walking up to her, and they go to kiss her on the cheek, and then they fake her out and kiss her on the hand. She goes, "Oh, I never would have known. And it's ridiculous.
man.
And it's a pretty awful show, but it's amazing at the same time.
Right. So that's the 5th time you've heard us talk about the show on the Bachelor podcast. So we thank you so much for listening, and we would love for you to contact us and write us. Reach out to us during our hiatus. Maybe we can come back and get some emails from you guys. How can people write to us, Nicole?
Well, they can write to us at thebachelorpodcast@gmail.com. They can follow us on Twitter.
Right.
Username Bachelor Podcast.
That's where we announce our new episodes.
We also have a Facebook page. We also have a website, thebachelorpodcast.com.
That's right.
So we have a bunch of different ways.
Okay, great. Well, hopefully we'll hear from you guys while we are out and about visiting the Great White North, our neighbors up in Canada, and we'll get back to you guys real soon. So hope you enjoy your week without us, and we'll be back real soon. So good night, Nicole. It's good podcasting with you.
You too.
And good night, everybody else. Adios.
We must